broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
With the pumped up kicks, you better run. Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to the Lucifer After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. Today we're talking about Season 1, Episode 5, entitled
Sweet Kicks.
Sweet Kicks. I would have preferred a title like, what are those? Like, that would have been pretty cool.
Right.
Of course, as usual, I'm your host, Stephen Lemieux. You can find me on Twitter at Stephen Lemieux, STPHNLMUX. And go ahead and check out our other network, The Popcorn Talk, where you can find all our movie shows, which are awesome for all your movie discussion needs. Sorry I wasn't here last week, but I knew I could count on Mr. Dave Child and Samantha Benitz to take care of this train and keep it moving.
We did.
Choo choo.
I heard you guys did fairly awesome.
Awesome.
Wait a second.
I got a few tweets that were just like, we don't need you anymore. And I was like, damn. I was debating coming back because my ego was bruised.
No, we wanted you to
We
come
need you
back.
back. The team stays
you
intact.
The team is back. Speaking of the team, Isis has decided that she can't do the show anymore, unfortunately, just because of timing.
Right.
There's like 3 shows that she really loves at the same time for the studio taping, and she just couldn't do Lucifer. But it's totally fine. You can still follow her on Twitter at Isis Velasquez 3, I think, is her
4.
Twitter.
I thought it was 4, but maybe it might be 3.
One of those.
3 or 4.
Follow all of them. Follow all of them. And in the meanwhile, while you're on Twitter following people, tweet at the show with, you can just tweet at us. Again, me at Stephen Lemieux. Where can we find you, Samantha?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Samantha_Benitz.
You can find me at MrDaveChild and DaveChild.com.
MR.
MR, like Mr.
Like Mr.
Like
except
Mr. But don't write out Mr. It's just the shortened
Just
Mr.
the abbreviation.
Yeah, and when you're trying to spell Mazikeen, just have fun and see what you can do. Starbucks employee 1.
Yes.
As listed on IMDb. So
You wanted to really find out who that.
I had to find out who that was.
That's Starbucks employee 1.
So overall thoughts, just to kick it off, what did you think of the episode, guys?
I mean, I thought this has kind of been my favorite episode since the pilot for some reason. I'm still trying to figure out why, and I think it's because there's a bit more supernatural stuff, Maze and Amenadiel, and I think that's why. I think they became more of a figure in the show in this episode, and we'll talk about that later on, but I think that's why I enjoyed it more.
There's more gears at work.
Yeah, there's
like
a
before
bigger story going on.
It was just Lucifer doing his thing, and then Amenadiel being sad about it. Now
Right,
it's Lucifer doing his thing, Mazikeen plotting, Amenadiel plotting, and introducing new characters like the chief of police and some people that might be coming back around more and more. How about you, Samantha?
I like this episode. I thought the dichotomy between Chloe and Lucifer is always interesting, and I love that she is just immune to all of his charms. It still cracks me up for some reason. It just is enjoyable for me to watch since he just pretty much takes the panties off of any other women. So to me, I enjoy seeing, no joke. So, that was also great, but I really like that Amenadiel and also Maze were brought up more in this episode, and it's definitely foreshadowing to some big climactic moment, which I'm excited for.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I watched this. I watched last week's episode earlier today, and then I watched this week's episode just now. So I'm still kind of processing everything.
Okay.
I really like last week's episode. Like, I'm consistently liking the show. So I get tweets from fans who are like, well, I know that from the first and second episode, I didn't like it. Like, this is the fan speaking. They're like, I didn't like it, but I stuck with it because Dave, Samantha, and Steve. Yeah. And I'm like, thank you. Like, that's
really nice to hear, actually.
Yeah, it means a lot.
Because a lot of shows go through their puberty per se, like where it's like you don't know what they're gonna be, and like you can't judge a series by its first 5 episodes.
Right.
And luckily with this show, we're really kind of getting more development than sometimes you don't get within the whole first seson.
Right.
So I'm excited. They showed Mazikeen's face in the mirror. They are showing Lucifer using his powers a little bit more, which we will
did.
hopefully see the the side effects of that. If we ever
Right.
go back to visit the artist dude, what was his name? Sorry.
Ooh, the one who was
Benny
bashing.
Chow.
Benny Chow, yeah. If we
Yeah.
ever go back to see Benny Chow in prison, like, and he's insane like the other guy,
Yep.
like, I love that we're
Yeah.
leaving these people alive with the puzzle pieces of who's going to put together that Lucifer is driving these people insane, literally.
Right.
Taking their soul with his eyes. That's what my guess is.
Yeah, and it also makes it seem like they're going to, like Lucifer's going to keep playing with him in some way because he said like, "Oh, I think I'll keep it," and that was a nice little. You saw a darker side of Lucifer. It didn't feel like it was kind of stepping back from that storyline of like, I'm just becoming a swell guy. I'm becoming like a good guy, and I feel fine about it.
A sweet mortal, yeah.
Yeah, you got to see him kind of play with that Lucifer dark side, and you got to see like Maze kind of be a killer demon. And the face thing, by the way, I was very excited about because that's what her face looks like in the comics.
Right, you were mentioning that.
Yeah, she has half of a face, and then she wears a mask on the other half of her face in the comics. So it was nice to have a little nod to the comics by seeing that kind of decrepit half.
Do you think we're going to get the mask half?
I don't think we're going to get the mask because I think that's her mask is what everyone else sees.
Got it.
You know, I think her demon side is the half a face.
Okay. So I think what's really interesting about the show is every week they're taking a picture of morality and comparing it to how the devil interacts with that. So
Right.
this one is the cause and effect of responsibility. So what we're looking at is Lucifer dealing with the fact that, okay, so is he responsible, albeit indirectly responsible, and should he feel guilty for anything that he does? Or are the people still the ones that hold the responsibility? Because let's say you have a deal with the devil, okay, and I say, hey, Satan, let me go ahead and just make this deal with you because I really want a gun. I really want a gold-plated Magnum. Give me that and I'll owe you a favor, right? And Satan says, cool, you'll owe me a favor. Give me the gun. So he gives me the gun, and then I go directly and I kill 5 people. So is Satan responsible for that, or is the humanity responsible for that? So that's the real, that's kind of like the problem we're facing here. So Benny Chow, what he did was he got a favor from Lucifer the favor was to get his first art show off the ground.
Yeah.
And this is apparently years and years ago. One of the questions that somebody tweeted at me was, wait a second, this guy's from a long time. This guy obviously asked for this favor years and years ago, but Lucifer's only recently come to LA. How does that work? Lucifer's visited the real world to give favors for a millennium.
Yeah, I also don't know how recent he's actually come to LA.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he's maybe been around LA long enough for Lux to become like a popular nightclub.
Right.
He was in LA long enough to turn that one girl into a really, powerful
Pop star before she died.
Yeah, so I feel like he's probably been around for at least a year or two, and I feel like he could have done all of this in a year or two. Because especially since LA has a very short-term memory.
Yes.
So whenever they're like, oh man, this guy is now rich and famous, and he's been around the shoe art world for a long time now, that could have just been for like 6 months or a year.
Yeah.
So except he's out of prison. That's like 7 years, right?
So what
Yellow Viper.
Yeah, so what Benny Choi asked for was to get his first art show off the ground.
Yeah.
So Lucifer, through getting him that, so the favor wasn't help me get off prison, help me avoid going to prison.
Yeah.
Because if that was the favor, Lucifer would have been non-inclined to help him. The favor was indirectly, get me my first art show, and through the process of doing that, you have to get me off prison, which in the process of doing that pushes all the blame onto Yellow Viper,
Right.
which is the whole kind of butterfly effect of this episode. That probably would have been a pretty good name for this episode. Because she mentions it, Chloe mentions that it's the cause and effect.
Right.
So he helps him get out of jail to get his art show off. All the blame goes on Yellow Viper. And if Yellow Viper hadn't gone to jail and taken all the blame, then Yellow Viper wouldn't have gotten out of jail, had fired the gun or whatever.
Yeah, and it's also nice. I think this might have been the first time they're cleaning up a crime that's the fault of Lucifer in some way or form. I think in the series so far, because of that little connection.
Right,
So
his
it's
involvement with it.
yeah, because normally the crimes they're cleaning up are someone else. He has nothing to do with it. And this is the first one he has some connection with.
So what's interesting in that you can take is, would this crime have happened regardless? whether Lucifer was involved or not. So you have Benny Choi and you have Yellow Viper, right? Yellow Viper is the one with talent, which we find out in the end. So the whole reason this crime happened, and the only reason that Paola died, was because Benny Choi was trying to frame Yellow Viper.
Yeah.
Now, let's say, for instance, that Lucifer didn't get him his first art show, whatever.
Yeah, I think
They're still going down to prison, and if one of them finagles it either way, I mean, it could have happened the exact same way, technically, because Yellow Viper was still the artist, and Benny Choi still couldn't have supported himself pretending to be the artist behind Yellow Viper's work.
Yeah, except you wouldn't have a super successful artist, which is where the whole this crime begins with, is someone who's like reached a level of success that is only reached because of Lucifer's involvement. But that's not to say it's Lucifer's fault necessarily, because if you look back on Adam and Eve in the garden, whose fault is it to take the apple, even though, Satan and the snake offers the apple? Is it the snake's fault for offering the apple, or is it
That's his job.
Humanity's fault for taking the apple?
Lucifer is all about tempting people, and so that is his ultimate goal. So I feel like he justifies whatever he's doing by saying, well, I gave them a choice. That's God's whole method, and that's the fight of all time. Is it like predestination or free will? So seeing now with all these choices that people are making, it's of course going to end in a bad manner if you're involving any sort of deal with the devil. We've seen that, previously in Bedazzled. You've seen it in Faustus, the tale where this guy, sells his soul for a few wishes and basically ends up everything, is less than what it appeared to be. So you'll say you'll get this deal for a Ferrari and you'll get like a broke down Chevy. He finds a way to, yes, you're on four wheels and you're good to go, but it comes with strings. So that's his deal, I feel like, in everything.
It's interesting you say that, because so far, people have not really gotten the short end of the deal. He actually gives them what they ask for.
Yeah, it appears that way, I feel like, until it unveils. Yeah. So I feel like it's the illusion of getting what you want until another factor comes
until
into
the
play.
Chaos falls and the chips fall on the table and Lucifer observes.
Yeah. And actually it's interesting you bring that up, because in the pilot he's kind of upset when the person he gives a favor to gets a short end of the stick, because when she gets killed, even though he's someone who he gave her this fame, and it's what she did with the fame that is kind of her own fault, in Lucifer's mind at least.
And that's what I think is developing more as he's spending time as a mortal, in essence, because I don't think he originally started off giving deals with the intention of, here, I'm going to give you the best deal possible, because that's not really in his nature. Like, to me, I think he's progressively doing things that are kinder to humanity, because he can more so identify with them now that he's lived amongst them and is kind of falling for, this detective as well. So I think he wants to be a part of this world, and in that, he can see himself in their shoes, being the son of, or, a fallen angel from God's heaven, so I think he can understand that.
So let's just kind of play a fun game here and say that once Lucifer interacts with somebody, the die is cast, and just however the chips fall, they fall. What if Chloe has done a deal with something else and can't be affected by Lucifer because the die is already cast? Lucifer can't change Chloe's destiny, really, because she's already gotten a favor, and we're waiting for the ball to drop on that.
Right.
Potentially.
Well, Chloe is really interesting, because and we were talking about this last week, is I still think that Chloe is kind of, I think, a tool of God somehow, or something, because I think she's the only one that can actually hurt Lucifer. Right now, they're making it seem like Lucifer's mortality can be affected by anyone. But if you watch the previous episode and this episode, the only one who can really hurt Lucifer so far that we can tell is Chloe, or slap him in the face in the elevator. And every time, he doesn't do anything. There's nothing that they're setting up where someone hits him and he feels it, except if it's Chloe. And I thought that was kind of suspicious in this episode when he punches the guy in the bar and the guy doesn't punch him back. Because if the guy punched him back, I would love to have seen his reaction to that, because he could have had his hand broken on his face because it wasn't Chloe.
That's really interesting, actually, because if you sock a guy in the face
Yeah.
Samantha, just so you know, in case you ever have a need to do
Right.
this, your fist hurts.
And you see it
I'm
with
sure.
Chloe, like later in the episode, she smacks someone in the face and goes like this, and he was surprised with how little his hand hurt when he hit him in the face, because he even says like, "Oh, I hit someone, but no bones were broken, unfortunately," or he said something along that lines.
So that's actually an interesting point I didn't think of. Could it be that Lucifer is not turning mortal? It's
Chloe has the ability to hurt Lucifer.
Oh, I read that in the comments. Somebody said she's like his kryptonite.
Yes, and I think that's true, which is important with what they're setting up right now with Mazikeen. Because Mazikeen's whole point in life, as they've said in this episode, is to protect Lucifer. So much so that she shows up as a ninja out of nowhere to kind of like take down a bunch
Wreck
of people.
shop over there, yeah.
So I think that's what that whole creepy scene at the end is about, is Mazikeen really confronting the one damaging thing to Lucifer, which is Chloe. Because I think Chloe can really actually kill Lucifer.
But there's got to be a second side to every coin. So what my question would be to you is, if Chloe has the power to hurt Lucifer, could it be that she's also the only one with the power to save Lucifer?
That might be true.
Because I think if you're really going to explore this dynamic of, okay, so Chloe is the only one who has the ability to hurt Lucifer, and potentially Chloe has been turning Lucifer into immortal, so maybe other people can hurt him, we don't know. Mazikeen's sole purpose in life is to protect Lucifer. So let's say Mazikeen finds out that Chloe is the one that can hurt Lucifer, so Mazikeen decides to take out Chloe, or to just remove her from the situation. If Chloe can take away the powers, maybe she can give them back. So we put Lucifer in a situation where he gets hurt away from Chloe, and the only thing that can help him is Chloe, and Mazikeen has to be the one to push them back together. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of room for play there if you have those powers.
This is what my theory was, and I said it last week, was I think we're going to get to the point where Chloe has to realize that Lucifer is Lucifer, but that he's being kind of a good guy, and then the choice is going to be with Chloe whether she'll use her ability to hurt him to kill the devil, or if she'll kind of protect him and help him because he's becoming a better guy. And
I think she'll help him.
I think she'll help him right now.
We said it this episode. He said whether she likes it or not, she will always be there to protect him and help him.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that she is
Mazikeen, right?
Yeah, Mazikeen.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that she can't do it her own way.
Yeah,
Like
she's got her own agenda,
and
clearly.
she says it clearly when she says, "I saved you, not her," and then it's like, "I'll do anything for you," is her last words to Lucifer. It's, "I will do anything to protect you, but if I protect you by putting Chloe in danger,
so be it."
So be it. Yeah.
Right. But right now, if she was to do it, like this episode, if she was to kill Chloe, it would make Lucifer angry, because that would go against Lucifer. So she has the, then she'll have the wrath of Lucifer upon her, and that's pretty bad even for a demon, I think.
What I'm interested to see is the closer Maze gets to Chloe, will Maze start exhibiting some changes?
I don't think so. I think they are just going to be polar opposites. I think that Maze is definitely still into Lucifer, maybe not in a romantic way. I'm not really sure if it's even a maternal way, because I know he referred to her as, his mother for a second. And the conversation they had in the bar to me showed that Maze really does care about him, but she definitely has her ulterior motives. She likes the way things were running. And now that there's a possible change pending, she's not feeling it, and Chloe's clearly a threat. So I don't know. I don't think she's going to be there to protect Chloe in any regard in the future, even, unless Lucifer is in extreme danger and she's the only saving grace.
You make a very valid point. Let me rephrase my question, because you took it the wrong way. Do you think physically, immortality-wise, Mazikeen will exhibit any changes from interacting with Chloe?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think she is specifically locked to Lucifer.
Okay.
And this is another direction I could see them going. I feel like she has the ability to affect Lucifer, and maybe we'll find out she has the ability to affect God or something. This is a big maybe. Because if that's the case, if Lucifer finds out that Chloe's a weapon that he can then turn to his to fight the angels, for instance, like maybe we'll find out Amenadiel has like she can affect Amenadiel somehow, even though she slows down in angel time. But maybe there's a way that he can use her against other angels, and then the whole battle between Lucifer and the angels might come to a different head because of Chloe.
I just think that's a little bit too Dominion. Like sci-fi's done it.
That's true, but I'm saying that's a direction they can go as far as the long game goes.
Yeah.
They'll still be solving cases and stuff, but it could be a direction because he still needs to find out what is her deal, who she is, why she has these abilities. So,
well, let's say for instance, okay, so you have Lucifer and then you have demons. Are we to assume that the same correspondence in heaven would be God and then angels, or is there something below angels?
No, I think
like is there
if
seraphs?
It's anything, well, if there's I don't know, there's different layers of angels in the
Testament, whatever you want to call it.
Not even just in like the mythology of the angels and Satan and demons, but demons tend to be below angels. As in, they're not fallen angels. The only real fallen angel is Lucifer. There's sometimes there's like people like to play with the idea that some powerful demons or other fallen angels that kind of ruled with him or were with him in the battle.
Right, like in Paradise Lost, they have Beelzebub, who plays a different character, not even Lucifer directly. So.
Yeah, there's different, and but then demons tend to be corrupted souls for people that were people, and then they're turned into demons, or they're other things that that came out of the darkness that Lucifer found in hell. So they're not, and while angels are of a whole different, created by God, and were before mankind. And then they created mankind, and then that's when the whole jealousy thing kind of happened in Paradise Lost.
Yep.
So
I don't know. I agree.
So we might find like, are you saying like maybe Chloe is a seraph or another form of angel, or maybe like the spawn of an angel?
You know what? I mean, I'm rethinking it a little bit the more I think about it, because I just think it's too much of a cliche. Oh, she's an angel.
Yeah, I feel like
randomly
so.
Lucifer's here and Amenadiel's here, and now Chloe's just randomly supernatural.
Yeah.
Unless Chloe's the reason in the first place where Lucifer went to Los Angeles and he just doesn't know it, and it's like a destiny thing. You know, I thought of something, and this is gonna make me seem like such a huge freaking nerd.
Okay, go ahead.
So there's an anime, and I forget what it's called, but the whole thing with the anime is that you have your main character, you have your protagonist, and he goes through like a life-altering event, and from then on can see demons that are disguised as people.
Okay.
Or angels that are disguised as... He can see basically the Oni disguised as people. What's really interesting to me right now is Chloe's coming to terms with Lucifer, whether he's the devil or not. Is he the devil? Is he not? Are they going to sleep together? Is this like... Because it's so on the nose right now. It's like, so... Oh, you must sleep with me, Chloe. You gotta... Chloe, sleep with me. Like, it's just... It's so creepy. Like, it's a little bit way too forward to the point where, like, if this is going to be... Chloe, sleep with me every episode for another 3 or 4 episodes, I'm going to be like... Oh my God, like, either just get a restraining order or sleep with him to get him to shut the hell up. Like, seriously, get it over with, whatever. Or Lucifer, just die, like, chop your thing off. Like, it's just, it'll get really old really fast. And you know what else is going to get really old? Like, him showing his powers and her not believing he's a demon. So, I think to maximize the character potential and the season potential to actually have multiple storylines in a season without drawing out this whole sleep with me, Chloe, and this whole are you really the devil thing.
Yeah, at this point, believe it. Like, it's just one of those things where I feel like she knows, but she doesn't want to believe it. But it's like, at this point, if he can gaze into somebody's eyes and pull out their deepest desires, and you're utilizing it every episode, then you got to start believing this guy has some powers. And furthermore, the crazy, violent things he does, even though they're not that violent sometimes.
Let's say that she can. Let's say that she is special.
Right.
Like, let's say that. Let's say she's something special and she's unaffected by gods or demons or whatever. She's something that we don't have a name for it because I'm not going to guess. Let's say either her sleeping with Lucifer or seeing his true form triggers something that allows her to see the evil in people.
Okay, I see. So it's a way of like opening up cases because she's able to see evil.
What we're tackling right now for the Palmetto case and everything, her gut feeling. Her gut feeling is such a big part of this episode, and her character as a character from Palmetto since the series started. So
I don't see it. I don't know. I don't see it as a supernatural gut feeling.
He's thinking female intuition over there, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's just a cop-like gut feeling that they're playing with. And I think that's a cool idea, but I think that's a whole nother show. Like, I don't think there's no sense of evil. The evil in someone is something that someone can see. I think they would have introduced that somehow, like Lucifer could see it or Maze could see it or something. If that was like a path that they were going to go down. It's a cool idea, though. But I feel like what we're going to find is that her history is linked to all of this religious phenomenon, and then she's going to have to deal with that. That's what I see it as. That's why I think the cases are going to become more supernatural as it goes on, because that's the only way to kind of keep the show going
while incorporating
the supernatural stuff. I think for the first season, it's fun to just have them deal with just people that are bad. But then as it grows, instead of seeing the evil in someone, she has to deal with the fact of like, all right, this person is supposed to be on the good side, this person is going to be on the bad side. And I think she's going to come from what's supposed to be the good side. Like she's going to be a descendant of Jesus or something.
Somebody in the chat said that the anime I'm thinking of is called Haru Kanaru Toki no Nakade.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
That
How
one.
did you forget that?
I don't know how I forgot.
There's got to be like a shortened
I think
American
there's an
version.
American version of that.
Like Blood Scythe or something like that. It's like a lot of animes.
I don't know. I think there's a good balance, and I think that's, if the show goes this direction, it could be a really smart move because there's Sleepy Hollow. You don't need to have a fully supernatural show.
I'm not saying that even. I just
But
think...
then there's also all the shows that are not supernatural. I think there could be a great blend of the two by giving her some kind of ability, whether you make it Minority Report-ish, where she can see the ties of fate of whether people are going to commit bad things, and then she's a detective, so she can't act on them until after they do it, or if you make it something like where there are demons escaping to Earth, taking the form of humans, or it's just people who went to hell are coming back because there's no one there to let them in, and she can sense who's actually from hell or not.
Well, I think rather than sensing stuff like that, I think it's going to be she's the only one that could actually kill creatures like that.
There you go.
So because that's more down the path where they're going. So I think what's going to happen is, I don't think it's going to become like the show Supernatural or Dominion or anything like that, but I think they're going to find out that there are other demons who are souls from hell that have come up and are corrupting other people in the world, and then that's the crimes that they're going to solve. Those crimes. That's kind of where I'm guessing
that could be
go.
all the souls that are not being watched potentially in hell.
Coming
they're
up kind of
and
bubbling
just,
up.
Yeah, I mean, I think
wreaking havoc.
There has to be some consequence to him not being in hell.
Yeah,
which is why it's scaring an Amenadiel. And you know what?
And Maze.
And Maze, yeah, I would love to see. Well, I think Maze cares less about that, other than the fact that she's just bored.
Yeah,
she's
she wants
bored.
to see some torture again.
Yeah, she's the best torturer in hell. So I think what would be really cool is to see a scene where Amenadiel is pushing Lucifer to the brink and Chloe shoots him and Amenadiel bleeds. I think that would be a really big turning point for the series, because then you would realize that it's not Lucifer changing, it's Chloe. And if you were to kill an angel, like if an angel is
even have the ability to kill an angel.
Yeah, if an angel is doing something that by mortal standards is bad and you kill an angel, is it still technically killing an angel? Is it, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of moral implications there that deal with the supernatural that could be really interesting to explore. I I genuinely like the show, guys. Like, I think it's exciting to think that, like, there's this many possibilities.
Yeah.
And awesome enough, we're going to have the showrunner join us for an episode.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so we're locking it down now, but yeah, we should be having him for March 7th episode, but we're going to tape it the next day.
On the 8th.
Because the cast members are all really cool and they like watching the show together, so they can't do it the night of our after show.
Right.
Which is fine because we don't want people drinking a lot and then being on the show and saying things they shouldn't because I don't want to be spoiled.
No spoiler alerts.
But yeah, March 8th, we should be having Joe Henderson in here.
That's awesome.
It's half confirmed, but yeah, it'd be great to split his mind because I'm hoping that we're going to get this huge shift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm hoping for. Do you guys want to talk about? We do have to talk about.
I want to talk about Amenadiel.
Amenadiel?
I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was interesting this episode that he was seducing the psychiatrist in essence. Like, to me, I just kind of saw the way he went in there with the suit, you know, after hearing that advice from Maze, go in there, you know, looking all suave. That's how she likes him. And, you know, he goes in there looking for Lucifer's file. And the fact that he's kind of doing these sneaky things to get Lucifer back in hell, I'm really wondering where that's going to ultimately lead him.
Well,
and
I
also
think,
working with Maze. Not a
Yeah.
good setup.
Yeah, and I think it's what you were talking about too, where they're dealing with Amenadiel's not that great of a guy. He doesn't seem like an angel.
Stand-up angel.
Yeah, he's not someone who's going around creating miracles and like blessing people and healing the sick. He's doing everything that he's doing for his own reasons, or what he says is like the reasons of kind of
Keeping
of
order.
keeping order.
I think the direction they went with this character is cool.
Yeah.
To put him next to the psychiatrist instead of just being like, I am an angel. Tell me what you know about Lucifer.
Yeah.
Everything is awesome. No, I think it's cool because I wasn't expecting the angle of I'm just another psychiatrist. Let's just talk about it. We can't talk to anyone because of client privilege, but you know what? Let's talk to each other.
And then he asked her out on a date. Let's go out, you know? So
Fluid exchange.
yeah, I'm like, he's kind of willing to do whatever it takes to restore order back in hell, but also to keep his own self from being the new prosecutor of, you know,
But he's got to
horrible
watch it
souls.
because as soon as she licks his face, he's not going to know what to do with that.
Yeah, right?
That's like,
She's got a power over him, and it's clear.
It's like cats. You like grab them by their scruff and it shuts them down. You just lick
at
Amenadiel's
it.
face and he just doesn't know what to do.
He's out of service.
if you take one thing from our after show, be it that if you ever meet an angel and he's trying to attack you, lick his face.
It's like punching a shark in the nose.
Yeah.
gosh.
They'll won't know what their feelings are and just like back up.
All I can think of is that movie where it's like, bullets, my only weakness.
That's great. Where's that from?
I can't remember.
That's great.
Oh man,
I want to talk about, by the way, Pig Diddy.
Pig
I want to talk
Diddy.
about Pig Diddy.
Oh my God,
You didn't.
The most
I feel like it's
famous
important to
pig
talk about Pig
since
Diddy.
Spider Pig.
Yes.
I want to say, like, Pig Diddy's a fine name, but you could have gone with Piggy Smalls. That's all I'm saying. And the fact you didn't go with Piggy Smalls is a little disappointing, but also might have been too much of a foreshadowing.
You could have just said Pig Pimpin'.
Pimpin'.
Yeah, because the
they-
pig dies, so the
pig
last thing you want to do is...
does get shot, so you might not want to name it Piggy Smalls. But I was like, the first thing was like, why not Piggy Smalls? Then I thought it through. I'm like, oh, I see. Okay, I see why.
They may have gone over that
see why.
one and
They
scratched
might
it off
not.
the list.
That might be. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, and I guess we did talk a little bit about the Palmetto incident.
Yeah, we get introduced to the dick bag who
Dick Bag.
Dick Bag. I'm gonna just call him Dick Bag.
We
Yeah.
have the douchebag guy and now Dick Bag.
I've
This
seen
is
that
perfect.
actor in a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
he
he
always
looks
plays
super
the
familiar.
jock. He always
Uh-huh.
plays the jock. He's a little bit older now, so it's good to see him as a cop because it's kind of a good
Switch up for him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, he fits the role pretty well. But I like the fact that it's kind of the four sticking together against her.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little too on the nose. It's like, oh, look who's here, like that. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
she went against one of her own.
Yeah, which is also nice because it kind of mirrors Lucifer and what happened with him because he went against the angels and now he's like cast out from the rest of the angels.
Yeah, he's
So it's
like
a nice little-
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Right.
Except
yeah.
Eviler.
Did we just discover that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is really a story about Satan?
Yeah, and Santa coming to terms with Rudolph's red nose and pitchforks. I
Is
mean,
accepting
tail.
Satan
Oh, boy.
and letting Satan lead you. Remember this, kids. that Satan, that you won't have a Christmas morning if it isn't for Satan leading the sleigh.
What
Wait
a
a
wonderful
second.
message.
Wait a second. Santa? Satan? It's been in front of us the whole time!
AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
I'd love to get a Christmas episode. That would be phenomenal. This show has so much potential. I'm really looking forward to it. Palmetto, she went against the cops. Lucifer, not for her defense. He doesn't need it for her defense. He just wanted to sock him in the face because he's a dickbag, which is great. The ex-husband convinces him not to file charges, but of course Lucifer always has back pockets. Like, he was an on-duty cop at a bar drinking, so kind of have the right to punch him.
Right.
Because he could lose his job, so if he presses charges, it's just like, okay, well, you can press charges, but I'm the devil, and you can lose your job if you do, so what's more important, getting socked in the face? I think it's sad that nowadays nobody can just take a punch and walk away. It's all about lawyers and stuff like that.
Yeah, you know, it used to be great when you could just walk into a saloon and hit a man or shoot him dead on the streets. Those were the days.
Yeah, you gotta get into gentlemen's quarrels.
Yeah.
You don't bring lawyers into gentlemen's quarrels.
Worked out for Hamilton. Oh, wait.
Hey-oh. Oh my god, everyone in the chat is saying, mind blown, Merry Christmas, ho ho ho.
You're welcome, everyone.
I'm so sorry for that moment.
Oh, geez.
A million moms are screaming right now.
Son, you cannot celebrate Christmas anymore because it's satanic!
Red noses. No red noses.
Clowns are banned!
What do you guys think about the whole thing where Lucifer was talking to Maze and he refers to Chloe as our pet detective? Do you think he's appealing to Maze's senses, or do you think he actually feels that way? Does he have this kind of pet or like power complex?
He likes to think he does. He likes to think that he doesn't have any emotional attachment to Chloe.
Yeah.
He says like, oh, if I have sex with her, it'll be over. And even in this episode, it's like, oh, it's just our pet detective. Isn't it fun? It's like a very evil British accent.
Well, it's perfect.
On
It's
point.
Very beautiful accent there. I think, well, he's fascinated by things he doesn't understand because he's immortal. He's been around since the dawn of time, so that's why he's like having fun with, oh, I can get killed, let's have fun doing that. Or, you know, he doesn't understand who she is, so that's why he keeps hanging around. And I think kind of considers her a pet because of that. So,
but she was the one locking him in the car with the child lock. I'm like, she's always restoring order on him. So if he tries to, like, you know,
by the way, I'm glad
that
didn't work. I was like, if that works,
I know, Lucifer,
like,
you've
what
gone
sort
down.
of powers does he have? If Lucifer's like, oh, that's it.
That child lock got me good.
Damn. Oh man.
You know how you get past child locks, right, guys?
Tell me.
Really easy.
Okay.
Have your mommy open the door for you.
Oh,
Come on.
come on.
How do you not know this?
I'm like the driver's seat. Just click that unlock.
No,
button.
yeah, he's Satan. He can get out of child locks. If he can get out of hell, he can get out of child locks.
It was also a police car, so it probably had a bit more special locks than just child locks.
Good point.
But
I'm
he is
just saying.
Satan.
He is Satan. He can
Or
be
Santa,
any
whatever.
lock.
Open any
He is
lock.
Santa. He is Santa after all.
So we also get the ex-husband kind of actually confronting Lucifer.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I keep saying ex-husband, but that's false. They're still married. They're
are.
only separated. And I've been saying this for 5 episodes of X, but it's just separation. So do you think there's any chance of Chloe and her separated husband getting back
Dan.
together? And do you think that would cause Lucifer to lose interest, or would he be even more interested?
I think it's a challenge, and I think he'd be more intrigued. And Dan kind of tried to lay his claim tonight by saying, you know, she's the mother of my child. Protect her. So he's already said, like, I've formed a relationship with this woman for a long time. She's carried my child, like, Trixie's in the world, and we want them both protected. So I feel like even now that Lucifer is getting more involved with Chloe and he's met Trixie and gotten to know how cute she is and sweet, that, you know, he's gonna stick around. And it doesn't really matter if Dan is a threat, because Dan's gonna probably see Lucifer, you know, as somebody who's trying to get out his girl, and that's gonna make him jealous and want to get back what he had originally. So I do think there's gonna be some type of plot set up with the two of them eventually, but
Right.
I
It
don't
doesn't
know.
seem like Dan has a chance right now, though.
Yeah.
So it has to be like,
he's gonna have to step up his game big time.
he's kind of being too much of a puppy dog if he's ever gonna actually get her back. He's too like following her around, being like, "Are you okay? Are you sure you're all right?"
You're still with Lucifer.
Yeah, I don't think you should be with him. Why are you following him around like that?
That's my Dan impression.
I thought that was your Fozzie from the Muppets.
Hey, Waggle.
This is the saddest Fozzie.
It's the saddest.
Waggle.
But my question, though, for Dan...
Yes? You got a question for me? I was just watching Chloe from afar and worrying about her safety. But I can't
He's
answer any
focusing on that
questions.
question.
I feel really sorry for anyone listening who doesn't see the blank expression on your face when you do the voice. Okay, so Dan, obviously the strife in their relationship is partially caused by Palmetto.
Uh-huh.
And Lucifer just so bluntly agrees with Chloe, oh, his fingers was in the pot. He was dipping his hands. He's not a hero. He got shot because he was involved and not a good cop. Dan may know.
I'm guessing Dan shot him. I'm guessing that Dan shot this dirty cop. And
I don't think I don't think Dan shot him. I think Dan is involved, though.
Okay.
With
but I
the
feel
dirty
like
cops.
If he's going to be involved, he's got to be deeply involved. And I think he could be, maybe
That's
they
a
don't.
good point.
You know, and I think he could be a dirty cop himself, or was a dirty cop for that weekend, that Palmetto weekend, and then shot him because something went wrong. So it could have been that. That's my guess.
I can see that.
I think you'd have to be in pretty deep to like go through being separated with like a super super attractive woman like Chloe. Like you have a child with her, like you'd have to be blackmailed in some sort of big way to give that up.
Well, I also
And she's
think,
a good woman.
Yeah, I also think
That's she's great. So
she
it's
also broke up with him, I got the feeling. So I feel like something happened that made her want to break up with him.
Which could lead to the dirty cop involvement. So I could see where that could come into play.
Like she suspected him or something. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a reason that, or he didn't back her in that whole argument that happened. He tried to play it safe while she wasn't playing it safe in the Force. So that could have been why they broke up. But I feel like it's mostly on him, and then she like made the axe fall.
And they work together, so that's even trickier, having to see your ex on the precinct every day. You're like, hey, long time no see.
especially when he dumped you to be with the boys.
Yeah.
And make fun of you.
Yeah. I'm dying to know if Trixie has the same abilities that Chloe has. That's like because maybe it runs in the family or something.
Yeah.
We got
She's intuitive for sure.
Oh, was it last week's episode where Trixie mentions the classmate?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you really
Noah,
like Lucifer because you shot him. Okay, so Trixie's obviously rooting for Lucifer.
Oh, yeah.
Trixie's shipping Closifer.
Lucifer? Yeah, or
Lou Chloe.
Clotricifer.
Lou Chloecifer.
Lou Chloe. Lou Chloe is probably.
La Chloe.
Lou Chloe.
Clarice.
Lou Chloe.
So yeah,
Yeah.
one person requested you to Waka Waka in that voice.
Waka waka.
See, it's like a very.
All right.
It's not quite Fozzie.
I don't know.
So the last scene of the episode is Mazikeen
Half a
creeping
face.
the living F out of Chloe. And
While
Chloe
she's
sensed
sleeping,
her while she's sleeping. So Mazikeen can obviously get real close to her.
Yeah, well, we kind of see her ninja abilities in this episode.
Oh yeah, you see her knock out all those gang members.
Yeah, she pops out of the darkness and kind of gets all demon on their faces.
Which is great because her character has been so useless so far.
Well, yeah, because there was that one scene where there was a bit of a demon angel fight that went on in a previous episode. You see her kind of face down a group with Lucifer, but she didn't really get to do anything. And this time, I think that's why I like this episode so much, is because she got to flex her demon muscles a little bit. So like it just seemed like
We finally get to see the character for what it is.
yeah, and also people use their powers rather than them just being like having powers and solving crime.
And
So-
Ivan Soto in the chat, no, not Lucifer.
He's not feeling that.
Not gonna go drop a Lucifer.
Not
No,
Lucifer.
no, thank you. Also,
No one's saying Lucifer.
if 25 of you guys are watching right now, there's no reason we shouldn't have 25 thumbs up on the video right now.
Yeah,
So-
come on, guys.
Yes.
Oh, iTunes. I haven't done iTunes. We need to wrap up, so I'm going to do a real
Okay.
quick iTunes reads, and then,
Okay.
guys, One Hell of an After Show by Melissa Darnold. Can't get over how much I love this after show. I love the comic book tie-ins from Dave Child and the wonderful different theories from the entire panel, and myself in loving direction the show is going, and can't wait to see how it progresses and what you all think. Wonderful. Best After Show by Care 2016. The show Lucifer is wonderful, and the after show is the best. The hosts are so on point about on point. It's funny because they say something what I think when I watch the show. Their comments are very, very funny. Super
Great.
Fantastic Girl says, great podcast. Love how everyone reviews the show, and you mentioned so many specific details that happened through the episode. P.S. You guys are doing an amazing job. And 73TH73 says, great hosts. Love the info you get on the recaps. Just wish Isis was... she wishes Isis was back. And
We do too. but-
yeah, and that's 4 5-star reviews. So let's get some more 5-star
Very
reviews, and we'll
cool.
shout you guys
Thank
out.
you, thank you.
Let's do real quick predictions. Oh, it says 11:55, not 11:59. Sorry, I
Yeah,
misread
it's okay.
that. But you guys ready for predictions anyway?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Samantha Benitz.
Okay, we'll start it off. Well, I'm not really sure what Maise's power is going to be, but since she's keeping such a watchful eye over Chloe, my assumption is maybe she's going to go into her dreams, or I don't really know what is going to happen next, but I know she's going to affect her in some regard. Yeah, either physically or mentally. And then furthermore, I saw a little snippet from next week's episode, and I saw that some important container is missing. So, of course, that's in the trailer, so no spoiler alerts here, but we will see what exactly the contents of that box is. Questionably the wings,
I
which you
have
brought
a
up
guess.
earlier.
Yeah, that's my big prediction.
And yeah, we'll see what happens. So I'll lead into Dave's predictions, since
Yeah,
I think
I
it's
mean-
a good segue here.
Yeah, that's basically my prediction. Is because next week they're talking about that there's a gift he got from his father, Lucifer got from his father, that's in a storage container that went missing, and it's very important to him, and I'm guessing it's his wings. And I think that's going to become a plot point about who has the wings, why they're missing. If it's going to be Amenadiel and Maze, maybe they're the ones that stole it, or it could just be some new player we haven't even met yet. So it's that's gonna be a great one. I think next week is gonna be good.
I think his wings will be on display at an art show.
You think that could be?
I think that'd be a really interesting way of like being like some like criminal collected them, thinking that it was
Right.
some like high tech something or other.
Although they already kind of did art in this one.
Yeah.
So.
I know. I was thinking maybe in Venice they'll like have some type of like production out there. I don't know. It just
Right.
have to be somewhere bizarre and cool.
Could be new player to the game. Might be interesting to see what's
His
going on.
wings
with that.
are powerful, so it'd be a way to get Lucifer's power if they get the wings. So
Let's say maybe it
point.
was Lucifer Morningstar, the other guy who tried to be Lucifer Morningstar.
that's true. We didn't really see. He doesn't really get killed or anything. He's still around.
And he might come back as some mastermind that we didn't ever think of.
Oh.
Or it could be another angel, or it could be another demon, or it could be anything.
Right.
Because there's literally no clues to what it is.
Right.
Um,
You said something about how there was like a shift in play, right? In the future one?
I am certainly hoping so.
Oh, okay.
I'm really excited because I know that they have so many episodes to kind of move this show in different directions. So
Right.
yeah, I'm really hoping that we get a cool little shift in the storytelling.
Cool.
Me too.
But I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah, me too.
Cool. Guys, that's our show. I'm gonna shout out
Great.
some people in the chat because we have a second real quick. Boo69Bs, Ivan Soda, Sylvia Love. Let's move up. Death de Reaper 6 Bailey, Luca Grunenfelder. It's 8 a.m. where he is. Grunenfelder.
Wow.
Boo 69Bs, I guess, is always there.
Anastasia
I see.
Sherry, who was the one who told me about the anime's name.
Nice.
Yeah, you guys, thank you so much for
5
watching.
points for that one. That was a good reference right there. I
Yeah.
can't believe she knew the name. I'm impressed.
I mean, all you guys got to do to help us out, we do all these shows for free. Honestly, do the iTunes thing, do the thumbs up thing, but just tell a friend.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people watch TV alone and then just dwell on it in their rooms and cry because they have no one to talk about. Well, we're somebody to talk to.
You can talk to us.
You can live chat us.
You can
live chat us, tweet at us, talk to us throughout the week about what you think is going to happen in this show, because we want to talk to you guys, because we know what it's like to be sitting in a room eating a gallon of ice cream, being alone, and crying that you have no one to talk to Breaking Bad about. But I'm not speaking from personal experience here, guys.
No.
Obviously not.
Clearly not.
Because
I told you that in confidence once.
clearly I'm more of a sour cream jug person.
Oh, God.
Guys, thank you for tuning in.
Man, on that note.
Of course, throughout the week, please feel free to subscribe and follow us on Twitter. Dave, where can we find you on Twitter?
At MrDaveChild on Instagram and Twitter, and find me at DaveChild.com.
And Samantha Benitz.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Samantha_Benitz.
And of course, guys, you can follow me on Twitter at Stephen Lemieux. That's StphenLemieux. And be sure to check out our other network, The Popcorn Talk, which I'm producing stuff for every day, from Star Wars discussions to Marvel to DC to movie reviews to anything you can think of. Check out The Popcorn Talk at youtube.com/Popcorn Talk Network and on Twitter at The Popcorn Talk. Thank you so much to Mark for engineering. He's in the booth doing all that stuff.
The Fawn's right there.
Thanks for that.
That's it. We will be back
Yes.
next week.
Yep.
And don't be fooled, because there's 29 days in February, so it will be February 29th when we are back. Yes, February 29th. So the invisible day that will not have an anniversary for 5 years. Next week.
Shall fall this year.
We're going to be here. I'm rambling at this point. Guys, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Waka waka.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.